Hi everyone, welcome back to the Dahlia Society. Today I'm going to take you guys, as promised, through my favourite fabric stores to buy from here in Australia and in New Zealand. Most of these I've bought from already and I've had fantastic service. And most of these, if not nearly all of them, do post internationally as well for all of you guys. I do have a lot of viewers in the US and UK, basically all over the world. And it's great to know that these stores, they're all independently owned and they all do post internationally. Maybe there's a couple that don't. These are all fantastic independently owned stores that I know I've purchased from before and I've loved their service and loved their fabrics. So I hope you enjoy browsing through their online stores as much as I do. And at the moment we are all in this pandemic. A lot of the time it's been really hard to go into stores and physically see the fabric and to feel the hand of the fabric, which is a real shame. For a long time, I've basically only shopped in store. So this year has taught me a lot about how to go about shopping online, what to look for. And I've found some real gems of fabric stores. And yeah, I love the service that I've got from all of them as well. So I hope you enjoy. Remember, they're all in AU dollars, Australian dollars. So it's quite easy to convert that if you wanted to Google and see what your rate of exchange is. And the same goes for the New Zealand dollar. So I think a lot of people sometimes see that and they get worried, especially for you guys in the US and UK. Yeah, it's quite different to calculate and work it out. But I think you'll find that a lot of these have got fantastic quality fabrics. You might be familiar with a few of the brand names as well. So let's go. I'm going to start off by saying, firstly, these are the two main chain retail fabric stores that I do shop from. I'm not going to focus too much on them, but I'm going to say that Spotlight and Lincraft do have some great fabrics. I'm not going to discount that because I really do enjoy, especially going to their stores and having a good rummage around their racks and their clearance racks. But today I'm going to focus on these independent fabric stores because I find this service is second to none. It's fantastic. And you really are shopping from that individual person that puts their life into their shops. A lot of the time they live for their little businesses. And I think there's no better feeling than buying from and supporting an independently owned store. So I do quite often find a great bargain in Spotlight and in Lincraft. And I think a lot of their stores have fantastic quality stock. They do also have some really cheap and nasties as well. But normally I know what to go for when I go in store and I look through their tables. And once you find what you want, it's really easy. And I have had a lot of beautiful fabrics that people have talked about in the past and I've linked them and people have been really happy with them as well. So a little bit of new fabric. This one was in particular from Lincraft online. It's a gorgeous poly jersey, bit of cotton in there as well. And things like that, you can be really lucky to pick up. When you go in store, it's so overwhelming sometimes to just see tables full of fabric. You really sometimes can find it very hard to figure out what you're looking for. So when you see a print like something like this and it's online, I will snap it up usually and I'll pop it into my stash and find something to do with it. But yeah, I was really happy with the quality of that. But yeah, in saying that, I think that, yeah, you really do have to look very hard sometimes to find that. Lincraft and Spotlight don't post overseas, so that's a real shame. So I'm going to focus on my favorite fabric stores. And these are in no particular order. These are just the ones that I love. Wonderful thing about Spotlight as well, they do actually showcase a lot of independent Australian fabric designers as well. So people like Ali Whittaker and Jocelyn Pross, very famous Australian fabric designers, do have a lot of their fabrics in store there. So I love supporting them. Last few weeks, we've had a lot of issues with postage with our lockdown in Melbourne. Things have taken a good month to get to the home sometimes by the time you've actually ordered it online. So these I ordered last month off Spotlight. This is a cotton linen blend. I just think this fabric is great quality, one of their great quality linens. So you can really find a very unique print. It's just a matter of scrolling through and really narrowing down and looking for the particular fabrics that you're after. If you're looking in their dressmaking section, it'll give you different sections and you might want to look at things like rayon, cotton linen, and your jersey knits as well. And this is another fantastic design I found in a cotton spandex from Spotlight as well. So the bargain budget end side we'll start off with. I think the best ones I've learned to shop with are places like Darn Cheap Fabrics. Now, Darn Cheap Fabrics do have 3 stores. They've got a Glen Huntly, a Heidelberg, and a Port Melbourne. They do post internationally as well. There's some fantastic quality fabrics on there. And a lot of the times I've found things, you look on their website and you might see particular, like say a boiled wool. And when you click on the actual fabric, you'll see many more colors listed that you won't see just on their homepage. So it's really important to look through their fabrics, click on what you like, and you'll see the different colors there. So that can be a little bit confusing, but whenever I've bought from Darn Cheap Fabrics, I love the fact that it's budget and fabric, but very good quality as well. They always put a little gift in there, which is really lovely of them as well. So very fast postage. I think that their service is great. So another great budget end fabric store would be Super Cheap Fabrics. Now they do have stores, quite a few stores around, but I have actually found that ordering online from them can be a little bit hit and miss with quality. You may find that if you know what you're after, they do have reviews on there. People have actually gone on and reviewed the fabric, so that's a really good way to know that what you're buying is good quality. But they do have a lot of ex-designer fabrics that they might want to put out really cheaply, and things like denim and corduroy are always a great bargain, like a good basic fabric you'll find quite cheap on Super Cheap Fabrics. East Coast Fabrics, which is in Queensland, they have some fantastic, really bargain fabrics, but really good quality as well. And they do sell a lot of things as far as quilting range cottons go and dressmaking fabrics, things like your stretch laces and a lot of different haberdashery items as well. So that's East Coast Fabrics in Queensland, well worth looking at. Sure you've heard me mention before would be Fabric Deluxe. Fabric Deluxe are in Footscray here in Melbourne, and they have fantastic online ordering. They do ship internationally as well. I think you need to organise them over the phone to do that for you. But the quality there has always been outstanding and really unique fabrics, really different to anything else I've found around. But I love the fact that they have collections. So they'll have collections in things like their tencel blends, their linens. They have a beautiful Italian rayon linen blend that the quality looks amazing too, and some gorgeous viscose rayon prints that I am just eyeing off. So I quite often will get on there and I'll really scroll through their things. Probably one of my first picks to look online would be Fabric Deluxe. That's because their prices are fantastic. They're sort of mid-range prices, but the quality is spot on and the service there is second to none. They are fantastic with their service. So postage is also fantastic. They do have lots of patterns they sell as well, haberdashery items as well. So Fabric Deluxe, a really favourite fabric store of mine here in Melbourne. Some viewers have put me onto some fantastic fabric stores right around Australia. Another fabric store in WA that one of my kind viewers has pointed me in the direction of, and that would be Lush Fabrics. Now, Lush Fabrics do have a Sunday special. They also do have a YouTube channel. They'll show you all their new fabrics that are released. I think it's every week, so you can really see what they've got to offer. And they do have a fantastic range of knits if you're looking for anything to do with printed knits or things like brush double polys, bamboo jerseys, your Liverpools and things like that. That is where to go. So Lush Fabrics have a gorgeous amount of printed and plain knit fabrics. They do have a bit of woven as well, but they really are your specialty place to go for printed knit fabrics. Then we've got in Sydney, we've got the Remnant Warehouse. They have got a treasure trove of fabrics to look through. Definitely so many fabrics. Great lot of price ranges as well. Anything from the bargain fabrics right into the more expensive fabrics, and you can really find some unique prints on there as well. So I love to look through Remnant Warehouse, especially for things like your printed georgettes and chiffons. There's also a lot of good cotton blends and a lot of Liberty fabrics as well. So really worth looking through their fabrics to see what you can find. But I do have, most of these stores, I will have a shopping cart already filled with goodies, and I'll quite often get on there and think I'll pop that one in the basket for when I need something, because a lot of the time I'll find a pattern and I'll quite often know the exact fabric that I think will go with it, and it's just a matter of remembering which store I put in the cart to remember to go back to. Here in Melbourne, we have Fibersmith. So Fibersmith is a fantastic fabric store that does sell a lot of wool as well, like yarns, a lot of different creative, crafty haberdashery items, patterns as well. And they do have very high-end fabrics, a lot of Japanese poplins and linens, things like your Japanese nani iro fabrics as well. So a lot of those things that can be very hard to find, you will find them at Fibersmith. So definitely gorgeous quality fabrics. Sometimes even the Ruby Star fabrics you might find on there as well. So a lot of good quality cottons and Japanese cottons. So that's Fibersmith here in Yarraville in Melbourne. Another store which has a fabulous blog as well is The Drapery, and The Drapery is in South Australia. They have some gorgeous fabrics. Again, a lot of the Ruby Star fabrics, a lot of Japanese cottons and linens, a lot of beautiful denims as well, great quality denims and coloured denims. They do have some quilting fabrics as well, some cotton fabrics. So definitely worth looking at The Drapery and also looking at their blog, because they have some great independent patterns that they'll try out and use their fabric that are in their store. And you can see how things are made up and how they come up. It's really a great way to see how to showcase a fabric. Now, Sewciety Fabrics, one of my favorite high-end fabric stores, the most gorgeous, luxurious fabrics. If you're wanting something really special and unique, Sewciety, which means fabric in Italian, of course, is the place to go. Now, they do have stores in Melbourne and in Sydney, but I've been ordering online, of course, with the shutdown with the pandemic, and I've found their service to be incredible. I will have things delivered within a few days, basically, which is fantastic. I love the fact that they do specialise in a lot of the Liberty fabrics, beautiful Italian silks and Italian wools. Their boiled wool is brilliant, absolutely gorgeous quality. So very special, unique fabrics. Can highly recommend if you want to spoil yourself, go to Sewciety. If you're after some wonderful Italian brunette or Lady McElroy fabrics, one of my favourite stores here in Melbourne is Seamstress Fabrics. Now, Kat from Seamstress Fabrics actually has a wonderful website full of beautiful fabrics, but those really special high-end style fabrics is one of my favourite places to look for gorgeous prints. She's just got a brand new range of Lady McElroys in just recently, and a lot more on pre-order as well. So she also sells wonderful independent patterns like Friday Pattern Company as well. Now, I'm not sure if Kat does post internationally, but I will have a look at that for you and I'll list it below. But she does post to all around Australia and New Zealand, and definitely one of those stores worth looking at. She offers Afterpay as well. So a lot of these stores do offer Afterpay if you're into that. It's really well worth looking at her store for some gorgeous high-end beautiful fabrics. Another beautiful little independent fabric store that I've found online in New South Wales is Selvage Fabrics. Selvage Fabric have some beautiful bark cloth fabrics, a lot of vintagey florals if you're into that really vintage style sewing, a lot of quilting fabrics as well, a bit of Liberty fabric there. I've just recently bought some cotton linen floral that was an Australian designer as well. So a lot of really unique fabrics, a lot of home and textile fabrics as well if you're into things like cushion making or lampshades and that type of thing. That's Selvage, and yeah, beautiful service and always lovely little handwritten cards. Most of these, when you order them, you always get a little handwritten card and a little thank you, which is very personal touch. I love to see that from independent fabric stores. Another great fabric store that a lot of people have actually recently gone online, I've featured a few of their fabrics. That would be Potter & Co, which is in Perth, WA. Fantastic, beautiful fabrics, a lot of gorgeous wool fabrics, a lot of linens, top quality fabrics. They do have a lot of Turkish viscose prints that are in a just beautiful, very unique fabrics, and really you can see they've curated a lot of their collection and been very particular about what they've put in their online store. You know, the price, you can get really good sale things as well that are marked down up to your sort of high-end fabrics, but very much that minimalist look. Things like your beautiful linens, they do have different quality of linens as well. They sell depending on your weights that you want. But a lot of these stores as well had actually donated to my giveaway that people had won vouchers and were really happy. And Potter & Co was one of those people that actually gave away a fabric bundle. So one of my lucky viewers got a beautiful fabric bundle as a prize, and she was thrilled with the quality as well. So Potter & Co definitely worth looking on their website, which is fantastic to go through. Another one of my favorite independent stores would be May Design. Now, Makey from May Design is the most beautiful person. She will always send you a little handwritten card and a thank you. And she does stock some amazing fabrics. This is a particular cotton gauze that I got, double gauze, which is a waffle as well, but interlock cotton, but gorgeous quality. I'm wanting to make a top out of that. But she also stocks some of those amazing brands like Mind the Maker, See You at 6 as well. And her fabrics sell out like hotcake. If you go onto her subscriber list, she will let you know when that is going to be a release, like certain release fabrics. And you need to set a timer because basically it sells out within a couple of hours. It's all gone. So really fantastic quality fabrics, a lot of linens, a lot of bamboo jerseys. There's so many independent patterns on there as well. She'll sell things like your Megan Nielsen patterns. Yeah, just beautiful fabrics. She has got a lot of cotton gauze at the moment, which is lovely. But yeah, she's got a beautiful collection there. And one of my favorite places to look for things like your cozy winter knits and your boiled wools in winter as well. So Makey does post internationally as well if you're interested. But definitely May Design is one of my favorite fabric stores to purchase from. She is in Bright in Victoria, which is the most beautiful township if you've ever visited the countryside here in Victoria. It's just a gorgeous place. They do have the snowfields very close as well. So I've been there quite a few times and I love the township of Bright, but a gorgeous place to have an independent fabric store. May Designs, yeah, always find a gorgeous quality fabric on there. Favorite of mine that I purchased from just about all winter because I love getting their sweatshirt fabrics and their French terries, and that would be Wattle Hill Fabrics. They're from Queensland as well. They do stock a lot of art gallery knit jerseys as well and some beautiful rayon prints. So not all just jerseys and knit fabrics. They do have a bit of woven there. They do stock a lot of quilting fabrics, a lot of beautiful cotton prints. Yeah, so a lot of the Parpee fabrics and the Euro jerseys you will find at Wattle Hill, and another place too to really get in quick because if you join their Facebook group or their subscriber mailing list, they will let you know when the new shipment's coming in, and it does sell out very fast. So those sort of things that are really highly collectibles, your Parpee fabrics, for example, will sell out so fast. So they are great to deal with. I've had the most beautiful service from them for quite a while now, and they'll do all they can to get that fabric out to you as fast as possible. And I love about Wattle Hill Fabrics that they put in a little tea bag from T2 and they'll write, take a break and have a cuppa on us. And I just think that's really lovely service and that really personalized touch. Then we've got the wonderful Trin from A&R Fabrics who has, she's gifted me some fabric in the past. I've loved looking at her linen collection from Europe. She really finds the most gorgeous quality fabrics to put on her website. So definitely very particular about what she stocks. She has some gorgeous linens, some ikat prints as well. She's getting some merinos in as well. And I think just one to watch for the future because I think her little shop there online is well worth looking into for good quality fabrics and especially your linens, and really beautiful service as well from Trin. So I love shopping at A&R Fabrics. These next online stores are mainly specialising in quilting cottons, but they do stock other fabrics as well. And a lot of quilting cottons can be used for making garments. I think you just need to know the particular styles that you want to make. They lend themselves either nicely to quilting cotton, like things like your boxy woven tops are great for quilting cottons. And also things like craft and bag making as well. First one to talk about is Voodoo Rabbit Fabrics in Queensland as well. They have some fantastic prints. Now really those kind of collectible style prints, Hawaiian style prints, also those pop culture sort of prints that you might find, little cowgirls and things like that are almost like 50s, and they might have the mermaids prints like the pin-up girl prints as well. So that really vintagey style fabric, and also also things like the Gothic style fabrics and your Halloween prints, really highly collectible as well. So Voodoo Rabbit, they do sell a lot of bag making stock there as well. So definitely your haberdashery, things like that, worth looking at Voodoo Rabbit. The one I found in the past was Utopian Threads. They have some really fun novelty prints, especially things for things like kids. Like I've found in the past things like Nintendo prints and that kind of nerdier style fabrics. So Utopian Threads, the Tula Pink range they do have on there as well. So a lot of good quilting fabrics and prints. Another one for the similar style fabrics as far as quilting and fun prints go would be Sew In. And Sew In is in Colac in Victoria, and they also have some fantastic, their Bernina stock list as well. So if you after a good Bernina machine, that's a place to go in Colac. So the Sew In, yet Tula Pink, and a lot of their beautiful quality quilting cottons. And there's Missy Rose. Missy Rose has some beautiful vintagey styled fabrics as well, beautiful prints. And you've got Wicked Fabrics as well. Wicked Fabrics do have a lot of quilting cottons and also things like your French terries and jerseys, in particular the good European brand ones that we're all loving for wintertime. Dizzy Daisy is another very popular store that you'll find the similar kind of quilting cottons, but also things like your beautiful double gauze fabrics, which is gorgeous for making up into clothing as well. So very popular little store. And another one I love is Bebelouche Design. Bebelouche have a lot of art gallery prints and things like your Ruby Star prints and also rayons as well, which are beautiful to wear. I think that, yeah, Bebelouche do specialize mainly in quilting cottons. You have a lot of garment fabrics as well they're worth looking at. So yeah, things like your art gallery are definitely worth looking on Bebelouche fabrics. So there's a few indie designers here in Australia that have great fabric ranges out, and one of them in particular I love is Ellie Whittaker. As I say, Ellie Whittaker has been featured in Spotlight quite often, but she does have fabric releases that will sell out very fast on her website, so definitely worth looking at her next release dates. A very Australiana looking fabrics and really bright colours as well. And the same goes for Nerida Hanson. Nerida Hanson fabrics are gorgeous quality. I've purchased from her quite a few times. I found her in the Finders Keepers market first here in Melbourne a few years ago when she had a lot of her range, things like her beautiful cotton sateens, linens and cottons, and she will actually showcase a lot of Australian independent designers as well. Dupe Designs, if you haven't seen Dupe Designs before, they are really unique print fabrics with amazing abstracty kind of designs, lovely bright colors and really nice linen cotton blends as well. So you've got to be very fast with Dupe Designs. They're very popular and their fabrics do sell out very fast. So another one to make sure you're looking at release dates and things like that. And if you like something on there, it's best to grab it while you see it because they really never last very long. We're after some Indigenous fabrics, things like your Aboriginal Art Gallery fabrics that is based in Northern Territory here in Australia have some beautiful Aboriginal designs that actually showcase a lot of their local artists, and they really do define on their website if you're looking for a certain region in as far as Aboriginal art goes, you will be able to narrow it down. And just one that's recently come to my attention, I'm really excited to be looking through their fabrics, and I just think the lovely Aboriginal animal prints and things like that are really unique to Australian art and design, and the fabrics are really special. If you're after African wax prints, there is the African Fabrics Australia store that have beautiful African wax prints, really unique, really bold colours, Ankara, if you might rather call it Ankara fabric, it's really up to you. I love the African Fabrics Australia website just for scrolling through and trying to figure out what I would do with the fabric because there's just so many options there as far as prints go. Getting onto New Zealand fabric stores, I have actually purchased quite a few things off a lot of New Zealand stores, and the postage has been brilliant. It's come very fast and you always get fantastic service. Okay, we've got places like the Fabric Store. We Are the Fabric Store. You'll know their blog. They have a fantastic blog. So the Fabric Store Online, it's called, and I have purchased off them quite a few times. Just recently, I've actually purchased some beautiful merinos. Now, they did have a sale on just recently with their merinos. Of course, we all know New Zealand's synonymous with beautiful wool and that beautiful quality wool, especially merino. And it's really well worth looking when they have their sales because things like cardigans and sweater tops that are lightweight, they really are best to look on We Are the Fabric Store for that. And it always comes wrapped up in beautiful tissue paper. Now the merinos I've just recently purchased off them. There's a couple more colours I've got, but yeah, really, really great prices. and the colors are just stunning. But if you haven't worn merino before, it's definitely worth looking at because it is light and it is warm as far as it's not overly, you don't get hot in it, but you keep your body temperature really nice. It's really interesting looking at the properties of merino wool. And a lot of the time you might, things in summertime can be worn like merino wools, but they're also great for layering, especially for little camisoles and things for under your clothes in winter time. So that if you're layering with merino wool, you really tend to keep that body temperature just right without getting overly hot because it breathes as well. So I love looking on the fabric store online as far as they have those beautiful silk prints as well. So those really special things, but definitely worth looking at their specials and their remnants, because just in the past, I've recently purchased some gorgeous Liberty Lantana fabric that was down in their remnants and their specials. Fantastic prices. So if you're after remnants and you want good quality, the fabric store online is a place to look. Great postage and fantastic quick service as well that you will find. Even with this whole pandemic going on, I've ordered things and had them here within, a week, which is fantastic from coming from another country. So really well worth looking into their store online. There's Draper's Fabrics as well, which I've ordered from before. Now, both Draper's Fabrics and the fabric store online do have stores here in Melbourne, but they're currently closed because we are still all in lockdown. So there's stores in New Zealand as well. Well, I'm not really sure whether the postage does come from their New Zealand-based stores or their Melbourne stores, but Draper's Fabric is a New Zealand store. So definitely worth looking at some of their really good quality fabrics. It's one of my favorite stores to look at as far as unique and good quality fabrics. I also love Miss Maud's fabrics. Now, Miss Maud looks like the most beautiful store. There is a physical store in New Zealand, but her online store is also gorgeous. She has some beautiful bark cloth prints as well, gorgeous florals, but her linens and a lot of her utensils and things like that are top quality. A lot of beautiful prints and also a lot of independent patterns for sale as well. So I've just ordered a few patterns from her that are coming and they're already shipped in the mail. But love the service that I love it when you get that email to say things have been shipped. Now I've got a list that I've actually noticed that Jess from Broad in the Seams. If you don't know Broad in the Seams, and Moona and Broad is a fantastic inclusive size pattern company. They have put together some gorgeous patterns and I'm really looking at testing one myself. I think they start at AU size 14, 12 to 14. Moona and Broad's sizes go from a size A to a size M, so a very wide size range. So definitely worth looking at your measurements, and definitely worth seeing their fantastic patterns because they are really stunning. So they've compiled a list. So Jess has compiled a list of all her favorite New Zealand fabric stores to shop with. So I will link that little blog she's done so you guys can have a look at all the other New Zealand fabric stores that are well worth shopping with as well. So that's my roundup of my favorite fabric stores here in Australia and New Zealand. If you have any more to add to that list, please comment below. I'd love to hear your favorite fabric stores as well. I'm sure there'll be plenty that I've missed, but these are particularly the ones that I've either shopped from before or browsed from quite a bit, and I know that this service is second to none and brilliant. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, that would be amazing if you could hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be alerted to new episodes that I have coming out once to twice a week. So get on board there and support those independent fabric stores. They're really needing all the support they can get at the moment, and I am really dying to physically take you guys out on a shopping trip when everything opens up here, which we're really hopeful it might be in another month or so. We might be hopefully back on track. That I can physically take you out with my little camera and I can show you all my favourite stores, because really there's nothing better than looking and rummaging through fabric and feeling it. But the next best thing is amazing fabric stores that we can share with everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.